do I find it in this crazy old world? I need strategies, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Every time I listen, Lauren and David share strategies for living, and it makes me aware. I got strategies for living, strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio. Your dose of radio rehab. Strategies for living radio.
We need them. We do. We need strategies.
We do.
Strategies for living, that is. Hey, folks, welcome. Welcome into 101.7 FM, 710 Keel. Welcome into another edition of Strategies for Living. I'm Dr. David McMillan. She is psychotherapist, PLPC, Lauren Leon McMillan. How you doing?
I'm doing good.
Yeah, well, are you thriving in 25? You ready to thrive in 25?
Yeah, it's a new year. It's time for new strategies.
It is time for new strategies, and man, do we have a lineup today. There's big news, and we've been talking about this. January the 14th and the 15th is How to Thrive in 25. And Scott Tarkowski is going to be involved in that. Philip Dees is going to be involved in that. But the headliner, who we're all coming to listen to, is Steve Beecham. And Steve has written several books, and we've got him today. He is our life strategist today.
All right.
Here on Strategies for Living. Lauren, you and I have been together long enough. You know that no matter how I describe myself,
Okay.
as a life coach, as a counselor, as a radio guy, as a father,
Yes. Husband.
as a husband,
Son.
I'm in sales.
Yeah, absolutely.
We're all in sales.
That's right. We're in the
And,
business.
the fact that we're all in sales means that we've all got a prospect. And so I'm excited about this event coming up. I'm excited to talk to Steve Beecham today.
Me too.
Because I think he's going to help all of us to thrive in 25.
All right.
Yeah. And so, folks, thank you. Thank you for tuning into Strategies for Living today. And we appreciate our sponsors making it happen. The Robinson Film Center and Azalea Cleaners and Learning RX and Pintail Roofing and the Balanced Life Wellness Center and Fertitta's Delicatessen, the home of the Godfather, Alligator Italian Sausage, in addition to those great muffies. We'll be back with Steve Beecham. He is our life strategist today, right here on Strategies for Living. Buckle your seatbelt. Come back with us. And welcome in. Welcome into 101.7 FM. 710 Keel. Welcome into Strategies for Living. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan, and let's welcome into the program now Steve Beecham. He's Southern, he's funny, and he always delivers a unique and fresh perspective. He's a storyteller, really like no other, and of course you get those gold nuggets of business wisdom scattered throughout his stories, and you are going to laugh, but more importantly, you're going to learn. You're going to learn about yourself. If you bring your team to the event coming up January the 14th and 15th, they're going to learn about themselves, and your business, mine, is going to grow. Steve Beecham, welcome. Welcome into Strategies
Glad to
for
be
Living.
here.
Hey, man. All right. Now, so I'm excited about you coming. This is going to be, we all want to kick off the year right? You want to start the year right. And Scott, I appreciate what Scott Tarkowski is putting together with his SRT sales training, and of course LSU and Shreveport making this happen on January the 14th and the 15th. And so I'm looking forward to your wisdom. Now, I love the name of your first book, Bass Ackward.
Yes.
Bass Ackward Business, The Power of Helping Without Hustling. Let me get your other books here, and then I want to ask you about Bass Ackward. Then you wrote a book called What's Your Buzz? And then I love the title of this one, The Tapes We Play in Our Heads. And your brand new book, A Few Big Ideas to Grow Your Business. You wrote that with Mark Bradley, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about Bass Ackward Business.
Well, it kind of started off, David, where, you get into sales and, everybody kind of has this way they prospect and the way they go about business. And it's really, after doing that and trying to learn how to do that, I thought, this is not fun. I don't want to go knock on somebody's door and ask them for their business. I mean, there's got to be a better way.
Yeah.
And so I said, it's this way I came up with in my mind was, what happens if, kind of the Zig Ziglar thing, if you help enough people get what they want, will they help you get what you want? And the answer is definitely yes.
Absolutely.
And I started putting that into practice to see if it was for real, and it worked. And I thought, well, that's Bass Ackwards, that's a Southern phrase, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they don't understand that in New Jersey, but I think we do in Louisiana.
I think we
in
do.
Georgia. So, I remember my grandparents going, instead of saying the cuss word, they'd say, that's Bass Ackwards.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's kind of what that book's about is, what happens if you're not if you're not trying to sell somebody, you're trying to build a relationship with someone. And that person may or may not spend any money with you, but they can't spend money with you if they don't know you exist.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I said, there's all these people. I'm up here in Metro Atlanta, and I grew up here, and we had 10,000 people in my community, and then we had 40,000, and then we have 100,000. And I'm like, I stood at the red light the other day. I walk every morning. I'm standing at the red light, and I said, you know what? I'm going to stand here at this red light. Now, there's 4 lanes of traffic both ways. How long do I have to stand here before I see somebody I know? And I stood there for about 20 minutes, and it kind of re-hit me. And I said, you know what? I'm really the guy in town that knows everybody, and I'm standing at this red light, and these people don't know me, and I don't know them. That's not many more customers out there that don't know I exist.
Yeah.
So my whole theory is, how do I build relationships with people? And, I think I told you my dad passed earlier this year, and he was a psychiatrist, and my brother's a psychologist, and listen to them talk about stuff like y'all do. I mean, this as well as anybody. You just got to have what I call a deeper conversation with people.
Yeah.
We have these shallow bubblegum conversations, and it kind of goes like, how you doing? I'm doing fine. How you doing? I'm doing fine. What did you do over the holidays? Oh, we did so-and-so. What did you do over the holidays? Oh, we did so-and-so. So it goes back and forth, and you're just thinking about what you're going to say, and you're never stopping for a minute to say, forget about me. I need to know about them. So how was your holidays? Man, it was great. Well, tell me about it. Well, my sister came in from Ohio, and I haven't seen her. What did she do? What was special about that? Did y'all grow up really having a close friendship or kinship? Just digging deeper in the conversation, because you learn so much more, which is what you do in therapy, right?
Absolutely. I mean, again, my thing is we're all in sales, whether we happen to be actually with account executive or sales guy on our business card, or whether it's therapist, whether it's doctor, whether it's lawyer, whether it's dad or mom.
Right.
We're all in sales. And, people as a broad branching here, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that's what I hear you, talking about, Steve, is that
And
connection.
You're exactly right. And I was in the hygienist chair one day, and she heard about I'd written this book, and she was asking me about it. And she said, my grandmother used to tell me, people don't fall in love with you. They fall in love with how they feel when they're with you.
Ooh, yeah.
And I thought, gosh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of where the deeper conversation works, right? I'm having a deeper conversation. I'm interested in you. I'm interested in what's going on in your world, and you're falling in love with me as I'm having that deeper conversation. And now you want to know more about me. So reciprocity kicks in.
Yeah.
It's all about you. And then after a while you go, oh, okay, well, I need to ask him something about him. And then when they do finally ask you, then you can paint them a picture of what it is you're looking for. And so what I found was most of us in our business, we talk a language within our business. I'm in the mortgage business. We talk mortgage language to other mortgage people, or you talk radio language or therapist language, and we think people automatically understand what we're talking about. And what I realized one time with my mom is I was wondering why my mom had never sent me a referral. And it was because she didn't really understand who I was looking for. So nobody walks up to my mom and says, hey, I need a mortgage. Do you know who I need to call?
Right.
Then she would say, yeah, my son.
Yeah.
But nobody does that. So I said, Mom, anytime you see a real estate agent, she's got that little thing on her lapel, and it says Keller Williams, or it says Century 21 or Remax. I want to know that person. And my mom goes, why? And I go, because Mom, they're going to take somebody around the car and show them a house, and they're going to buy a house, and they're going to need a loan. And that's what I do. And if I do the loan, then I make money. And then I go down to the bicycle shop and I buy bicycles, and then I give them to Santa, and he brings them down the chimney. And she goes,
I get it.
the light bulb came on.
Yeah.
So deeper conversations give you the ability to paint a picture to the person in front of you of what you're looking for. Not like, well, if you know anybody needs a loan, call me. Or if you know anybody wants to advertise on the radio, tell them to call me.
Yeah.
You want to paint them a picture of, hey, do you know so-and-so down at so-and-so auto dealership? Because that guy would be a great customer for me, because he would come buy some ads.
Yeah. Yeah. Your second book, What's Your Buzz? What's the book there?
What's the buzz?
What's the buzz on that book?
So, yeah, my buzz book is what I realized was when I started going out in the community and trying to develop these deeper relationships, I would learn from certain people that the buzz about me might not be what I wanted the buzz to be. So people might remember me as the wild, crazy guy in high school, or they might remember me as, a guy that was in the clothing business. That was my first business. So they might remember me as the guy that sold plantation shutters, which was my second business, or the guy that was in the recycling business. They weren't remembering me as a guy they needed to refer people to that were buying a house.
Right.
And so I said, you know what? There's a buzz about all of us in the community. And problem is, we don't know what that buzz is. We really don't know what other people are saying about us. What's the buzz when somebody says, hey, you need to meet my buddy Steve Beecham? What do they say next? He's a great mortgage guy. He's an author. He knows a lot of people in the community. What's the next thing they say about me? And is that what I want them to say?
Yeah. You want them to say, hey, he's a great guy and he cares.
Yeah. And he's the mortgage guy in town.
There you go.
I'm in the mortgage business. Or he's the best speaker out there. You need to hire him, right? And so what I've realized was, as our communities are growing, it's moved away from when our mom and dad said, hey, go down there and buy your tires from Jim, or go over there to Sally and get your hair done. Or, Dr. Smith is our dentist. We've moved away from that a little bit.
Yeah.
There's still some of that, but we've moved. The communities have grown so much. So it's up to us to drip to others the buzz that we want them to repeat about us. So if I don't tell you that I'm in the mortgage business, or I don't and tell you why that's important, or I don't tell you that I've written books, or I don't tell you that I love to go around speaking to people to help them grow their business. If I don't tell you those things, then you're not going to know those things about me.
Yeah.
Because it's up to us to drip our buzz in the conversation, not brag, but when the opportunity presents itself to say, yeah, I know a little something about that, David. I know about being a therapist because my dad was a psychiatrist and my brother was a psychologist. That was the way I dripped that to you, to let you know I know a little bit about what you do. I don't know a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It makes it relevant.
You are going to be able to learn. You and I, all of us, going to be able to learn from Steve Beecham how to thrive in 25. Prospect. It's going to be at the LSU at LSU Shreveport, and it's 9 a.m. to 12 noon. Coming up January the 14th and the 15th. It's going to be both days.
Yep.
You're going to be able to go now.
2 opportunities.
You can go to LSUS's website, sign up there. You can call Scott Tarkowski and sign up there, 318-393-5219. If you tell him you heard it on Strategies for a Living, you get a discount. We're coming back. We're going to talk more with Steve Beecham today here on Strategies for a Living. I got to figure out all the tapes in my head.
And
Maybe
why they play
why
over
they're
and over.
playing. Maybe Steve will help me when we come back. Be right back here on Strategies for a Living.
Prospect. How to thrive in 2025. Hey, everyone, Scott Tarkowski here, and we are very excited to announce that Steve Beecham from Atlanta, Georgia, will be here to help you prospect, connect, and grow your sphere of influence. Steve is a speaker and trainer who shares his techniques for helping companies and individuals succeed in business through networking and leveraging their social connections. If this is something that interests you, January 14th and 15th, you don't want to miss. LSUS Ballroom, and that's at 1 University Place in Shreveport, Louisiana. Tickets are only $99. You can reach us at 318-393-5219 or simply show up the day of the event. If you have groups of 5 or more, tickets are only $82.50. We look forward to seeing you there.
Hey, let's talk about the Robinson Film Center. I say it a lot. There's no place like the Robinson.
Absolutely, there is not.
617 Texas Street, downtown Shreveport. You've got so much. You got the movies. You got Abby Singer's Bistro on the second floor of RFC, open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Saturday.
Newly remodeled.
Absolutely. Great menu. RobinsonFilmCenter.org is the way you check it all out. You can go to RobinsonFilmCenter.org at any time and find out what movies are showing. Here's the deal. You want to join the crowd, join the fun, become a member. When you become a member, you become a star. You get discounts on movies, you get concession upgrades, you get bistro deals. RFC, 617 Texas Street in downtown Shreveport. I'll say it again. There's no place like the Robinson.
There is not, and I'm glad we have one right here.
Absolutely. The RobinsonFilmCenter.org.
Reading begins not in the classroom, but in your child's brain. I'm Donisa Walker with Learning RX Shreveport. If your child struggles to read, maybe he or she has trouble focusing or comprehending, Learning RX Shreveport offers a science solution to reading problems, working one-on-one with your child, targeting his or her reading skills. Today, call Learning RX Shreveport. Make an appointment to have your child assessed. I know you want to help your child, so does Learning RX Shreveport.
And welcome back into your daily dose of radio rehab. We call it Strategies for a Living. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan. We're with Steve Beecham today here on Strategies. And Steve will be in town January the 14th and the 15th at LSU in Shreveport. And you can see him either day or both days And it's going to be a heck of a program. Scott Tarkowski from SRT Sales Training is one of the speakers. He will, or Scott's a powerhouse when it comes to sales growth and real world insights. So I think he's going to kick it off. And then Philip Dees, who is an international speaker and coach for over 20 years. He's been helping folks achieve their potential in sports and in life. So he's got a lot to share. And then Mr. Beecham, professional speaker and author, and he is the headliner, and we are going to learn to prospect, and thrive in 25. And again, you know, what I don't want people to do is put this in a box,
Right.
Steve, because you know, people may be hearing us and saying, "Oh, well, you know, great, the sales stuff." But again, one thing, if I've learned something in 68 years, it is that we are all in sales.
I mean, if you work with people, if you're in relationship with people,
You're in sales. Yeah. So, you know, I got all these tapes playing in my head, right?
hopefully they're not broken.
Yeah, let's hope not. You got a book called "The Tapes We Play in Our Head," Steve. Can you help me out with my tapes in the head?
Well, you're going to be the hardest guy to help out, right?
Yeah.
You know a little something about why some of that happens. But what happened to me was I was reading Napoleon Hill, and Napoleon Hill said, "Fear is nothing more than an unanswered question." And so it dawned on me that the reason why we don't prospect, the reason why we don't cold call, is because if I knock on the door and said, "Hey, do you need a mortgage?" and you say no, then I'm going, "Ooh, my feelings are hurt," and I leave.
Yeah.
So fear holds us back because we don't know what that person's going to say. And I went, gosh. And so what I'm trying to get to is I need to be in a position where I'm the pro at what I do. I'm the go-to guy in my community for what I do. And so I've got to get this fear removed a little bit. And then I was reading a book by Adam Grant, and Adam Grant says that the highest achievers that he knows of, and you're going to hate this because my dad would wear me out about this. He said they're humble narcissists. He says you cannot be a humble narcissist. And so Adam Grant used the idea of he's like, if you take a U.S. president, a governor, somebody like that. So you've got to be a narcissist to believe that you should be the leader of the free world. And I'm going, you're right?
Yeah.
I'm the baddest dude on the planet. I need to tell all of y'all what y'all need to do, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then, but if you meet these guys, if you meet a Jimmy Carter or Bill Clinton or Donald Trump, maybe he's a little bit different, but most presidents, if you meet them, they're really like, when you're with them, they're like, they make you feel like, you're just the most wonderful person in the world. In other words, they're pretty humble when you meet them.
Right.
But
right.
internally, there's a narcissism going on that says, I'm going to kick your butt. I'm going to win this election. And I thought, you know what? That's kind of what I need. I need to be on the outside. I need to be hey, he's a nice guy. I like hanging out with him. But internally, I got to have this drive going on that's saying, hey, I want to achieve certain things. I want to go certain places. I want to meet certain people. I've got things I want to do in life, and that's where the narcissism to me comes in.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with that. I'm just going to put air quotes.
Air quotes.
I'm going to put air quotes around
It's more
them.
of a tapping into a true power, power source.
Your superpower.
There's a difference between, narcissist to me kind of puts that fake. It's not a true position of power.
Yeah.
Whereas what you're talking about comes from true internal safety and power.
Yes.
And knowing.
Yeah.
So you like that? Do you like it?
I do. Yeah, I do.
It makes sense. Yeah.
Makes total sense to me.
You sold it to
that
us.
Made my day.
You sold it to
my
us,
dad
Steve.
would wear me out.
Well, you got to. We're not going to wear you out. I understand where you're coming from.
Yeah.
quit using that phrase. That was not accurate. He just couldn't stand it. But so when I came to that point, I thought, okay, we need some tools to work through this fear, through this through having bad thoughts, because as they say, we have more bad thoughts than we have positive thoughts. And I started interviewing a lot of highly successful people, and I realized they weren't having the same conversations with themselves that I was. They're having a higher powered, more positive, productive conversation. I'm on a plane on a G5 with all these rich guys, and I'm like, what do you think? When you're in a situation, what do you think? And they're like, I'm going to kick your butt, or I always win, or I'm the luckiest guy in the world. They had different little phrases that they used in the conversations. And then the UPS guy shows up one day and he's, the world's falling apart. My wife doesn't like me. My daughter's running away from home. I'm a terrible guy. And I'm like, that's the difference. That's why one guy's driving a UPS truck, another guy's flying in a G5.
Yeah.
It's just the conversation.
Yeah.
So anyway, I came up with these three things. First one is, give this negative thought you're having a name. What happens if you say, devil, you're not going to talk to me like that? Okay. I'm not going to put up with that. Jimmy, you're not, like, I had this guy, Jimmy Muck and Fuss. He was the bully in my neighborhood. Muck and Fuss, you're not going to talk to me like that. And I'm having this thought process. Wonder if I go broke, or wonder if, my kid gets in a car wreck. No, Muck and Fuss, you're not going to put my kid in a car wreck. No, you're not going to talk to me like that, devil. So give it a name. That was my first thing.
Okay.
Second one, talk back to it. So you give it a name, and then you talk back to it, which is the second part of what I just did. Muck and Fuss, you're not going to talk to me like that. Get out of my room. Get out of my life. No, you're worthless. In other words, have a fight with it, kind of like you would with like I do with my wife. She nags on me, and it goes on for about a week or two. Then I've had enough, and I'm like, damn it. And I come back at her,
Yeah.
So
mine never does. Mine never does, by the way.
Attaboy.
Never. No. That's awesome. And then the third thing is, bring in a third person. I'm having this thought process about business, and business is not good. And I'm having this negative thought, and the devil's talking to me like business is going to be terrible. Why don't I dial a friend? Why don't I call Tony Robbins? Why don't I call Oprah? Why don't I say, hey, Tony, come in this conversation with me. The devil's telling me that interest rates are high and people aren't going to be buying houses. Why don't you help me? Well, Steve, you know better than that. It's all cyclical. This is Tony talking. You know that things are cyclical. It's going to be fine. We got Trump coming in. A lot of people are optimistic. Economy's going to be better. Maybe the interest rates will come down. Even if they don't, maybe people will still be buying house. So you bring this therapist, this rock star, third person to come into the conversation with you and help you have that internal conversation with this negative person, because you've given it a name.
Yeah, I love that.
And then I thought about Flip Wilson. The devil made me do it. And I came up with this idea. Wonder if you walk around all day long, and on one shoulder, you got this devil sitting there. And on the other shoulder, you got God or Tony Robbins or whoever the most positive influence, your grandmother, whoever the most positive influence you have in your life is sitting on the other shoulder.
Yeah.
And so when this negative conversation comes in your ear because the devil's standing on your shoulder going, your business is terrible, you're going to go bankrupt, then you can turn to the other shoulder, and that other person can then put words of encouragement in your, nah, man, he don't know what he's talking about. You've been through this before. You're going to make it, buddy. You're successful. You're my cutest little grandbaby, and you're going to be just fine, and your grandmama loves you.
There you go. There you go.
And I started doing that. And I actually, when I'm in live, I kind of have this thing that I do with your hands, the hand gesture, to help you start thinking about that every time you have this negative conversation, you have the ability to also have a positive conversation that can outweigh that negative conversation.
Yeah.
All right, therapist, tell me what you think.
I
Good
love
stuff.
it. And I tell you what I really love is talking back.
Well,
And-
it really plays off an actual therapy terminology that we use in internal family systems.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
it's called parts therapy.
Yeah.
You know, where you really do have a bunch of internal parts. And so it helps to identify them, to give them
Give them a
names,
name,
and
give
to
them an
have-
image, and then
have-
talk to them.
Have conversation with them. So it's actually
Yeah.
very, very in line.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yay!
Now, of course, when you started talking, I could bring anybody in that who popped into my mind was Zig Ziglar. I'm gonna bring Ziglar in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can bring anybody in that you're familiar with.
Right.
You know, if you've read
Right.
Zig Ziglar, he's not around in person anymore, but if you've read him, and a lot of people have,
Yeah, you have
You
his
know,
voice and
you
his
got his
understandings.
voice, and that you can bring him in. You can bring him in to help. I love.
Dale Carnegie, Napoleon Hill.
Absolutely.
Bring your preacher in. You can bring your grandmother, your grandfather, your mentor. Anybody can
Right.
come into that conversation with you.
I love what I'm
Or-
hearing. I love what I'm hearing from Steve Beecham today. Folks, you're going to want to sign up. January the 14th and the 15th at LSU Shreveport. Prospect, how to thrive in 25. Both days, you can come one or the other day. It's from 9 a.m. to noon. You can sign up. You can sign up at the LSUS website, lsu.edu. And if you want to call Scott, you can do that by just simply calling 318-393-5219. If you mention that you heard it here on Strategies for Living, there's a discount in it for you. So do that. Steve Beecham, our life strategist today, here on Strategies for Living. We've got more of his wisdom when we come back.
From the bayou to your table, we're keeping it alive with flavors from the family, passed down to survive. The Godfather's here with a twist in the tail. Alligator Italian sausage, and it sure won't fail. It's the boss of the bayou, a taste you can't refuse. Italian tradition, Cajun infused. Godfather sausage, bold and true. The Padres bringing the bayou to you.
Get the Godfather Alligator Italian Sausage only at Fertitta's Delicatessen, 1124 Fairfield Avenue in Shreveport. Pick up a muffy while you're there. The Godfather Alligator Italian Sausage. It's a taste you can't refuse. Sold only at Fertitta's, 1124 Fairfield Avenue in Shreveport. Dealing with stress, pain, feel like you're running out of options? When your life is balanced, wellness is a given. True wellness is holistic. It's about the mind, the body, and the spirit, all in balance. Now, there's a place right here in Shreveport that's all about helping us achieve peak mental, emotional, and physical health. The Balanced Life, 117 Kings Highway, right next door to Strawn's. Come see and feel the difference getting your life in balance can be. Many of your friends and neighbors have already learned the difference less stress and pain mean in their lives. You can book a discovery session right now online, thebalancedlife.us. All you've got to lose is stress, pain, or maybe both. Come see and feel for yourself the real difference balanced wellness makes. The Balanced Life Wellness Center, 117 Kings Highway in Shreveport, next door to Strawn's, thebalancedlife.us.
Tune in daily, find the light. Healthy mind and spirits bright. Strategies for living strong. Feel the vibe, it won't go wrong. Body moves and soul align. Catch the rhythm, feel the time. Radio rehab every day. Chase those clouds of gray away. Your daily dose of radio rehab. Lift your
And welcome back into your daily dose of radio rehab. We call it Strategies. Strategies for living, that is. Lauren Leon McMillan, David McMillan with Steve Beecham, our life strategist today, author of many books, including his brand new one, A Few Big Ideas to Grow Your Business. He's also written Bass Ackward Business. He's written What's Your Buzz and The Tapes We Play in Our Heads. Want a copy of those books? Well, hey, come see Steve Beecham and Scott Tarkowski and Philip Dees.
He might even sign a few for you.
Yeah, you may even get him to sign some. There you go. January the 14th.
For free.
For free. There you
whoa.
go. I love it.
There you go.
I love it. Love it when a plan comes together. January the 14th and the 15th, LSU in Shreveport. And you can sign up on LSU's website, lsu.edu. Go to events and sign up there. But if you call Scott at 318-393-5219, tell him you heard about it right here on Strategies for Living. You're going to get a
good discount.
Pretty good discount.
Yeah, from what I hear.
And you get a discount also if you bring multiple people. So maybe you got, I don't know, 4 people, 5 people in your office. Bring them on. Everybody's going to learn together. Everybody's going to thrive together.
Right.
And that's the title of this, How to Thrive in 25. So tell me about a few big ideas to grow your business, Steve. I'm all ears here.
So as I've been, out there doing workshops and teaching and speaking, I know that when I go sit in the audience, if I can go see somebody and I can leave there with at least one idea that I can go implement, then to me, that was a successful event.
Yeah.
And so I started thinking about how can I put together something that gives you a bunch of different ideas. And so I came up with about 60 or 70 ideas. Some of those we've kind of talked about already. And they're not all, hardcore ideas like, buy a billboard or something. A lot of them are psychological ideas, different ways to think, like we talked about in the last 3 books. But some of them are a little bit more like pen to paper kind of ideas. So I'll give you my most popular one seems to be a list I call the top 100. And so prospecting is really about just getting out there and getting to know people, learn how you can help other people become successful. And so that becomes the way that you approach everything. You approach it with your assets, not your agenda. And so that's a chapter. The assets with agenda is I want to go meet you because I want to bring my assets, the people that I know, the information that I have, the knowledge that I have to the conversation to help you sell more, restaurant dinners, or to help you sell more shoes at your shoe store. How can I bring my assets, not bring my agenda and just talk about me?
Yeah.
So I call up this top 100 list, and the guy, I was sitting there one day and I was thinking, who are the people in my community that I don't know that I should know? Do I know the police chief? Do I know the mayor? Do I know the parks and rec guy? Do I know my kid's teacher? Do I know my kid's principal? Do I know the lady that owns a dry cleaning store or a shop where I drop my dry cleaning off? Do I know the guy that owns a pizza place where we love to go have pizza once a week? Do I know these people? And I realized that there were so many people in the community that I spent money with, or I drove by their businesses and I often wondered what was going on in that business.
Right.
And I hadn't stopped to take the time to go meet them. And you can go meet them if you're going in with your assets and not your agenda. So I have a sheet of paper I call the top 100. I get everybody first part of the year, make a list of the 100 people in the community that you don't know, that you would love to know. Not because you can make money off of them, just because they're people that are of significance, or people you spend money with, or people you just would like to know.
Right.
And you start knocking those off. And so that's one of the big ideas. Another one is create marketing habits. So what happens is you find something, you do something. Okay, I'm gonna run an ad in the newspaper. You start doing that. Okay, that's working. Okay, what's the next thing that I can do? But I don't need to start this new habit of doing marketing for the newspaper until I've gotten to where I'm good at doing that. I know how to place the ad. I know what to write my ad. But once I do, then I need to create a new habit. Maybe that new habit is I advertise on the radio. Maybe that new habit is I do an email newsletter. Maybe that new habit is I invite a bunch of people to have coffee with me once a week. Maybe that new habit is I go join the Rotary Club because I'm not in there, or go join the Chamber of Commerce. And then once I do that new habit, I do it for a little bit till it becomes ingrained, and it's something that I do. Like I go to Rotary every Friday. I go to the Chamber on Tuesdays. You know, I go meet a bunch of guys for coffee every Wednesday morning. All these become habits once they're ingrained. So one of the ideas is whatever you marketing stuff you're doing now, what's the next habit that you can create so that you're doing it constantly and consistently?
Yeah.
And then a third one that a lot of people like is I call it direct connect. So how many times has somebody called you and says, they'd say, I need a plumber, or I need a doctor, or whatever it is. And you say, here, call Dr. So-and-so's office, or call Jimmy, he's my plumber. And then you run into Jimmy and you go, hey, did Beecham call you? And he goes, no, I never did get a call from anybody named Beecham. And you go, dang, I'm trying to send him some business. He doesn't even know it.
Yeah.
So I came up with this idea. I said, next time somebody calls me, so David and Lauren call me and we're coming to Alpharetta, Georgia, and we need a hotel room. Well, I'm not going to say, check out the Holiday Inn. I'm going to say, hang on a minute. I'm going to call my friend Amber, who's the manager over at the hotel, and I'm going to get her on the phone with you. I'm going to directly connect you with Amber. And I'm going to say, Amber, these are my good buddies are coming up from Louisiana. Can you help them get a room? And she's going to go, heck yeah.
I love it.
And so now she knows, and you know that I took time out of my day for a few minutes to make it happen for both of y'all.
Yeah.
What a
And
difference.
it wasn't because I sent you her number or I sent you her contact information. I actually made the contact. Now, if I call Amber and I get her voicemail, then when her voicemail finishes, I'm going to say, Amber, I'm here with my friends David and Lauren, and they're coming to Alpharetta, blah, blah. David, leave Amber your phone number or how she can contact you. So then we're going to leave her a voicemail that you and I are on. Well, it's about a 99% chance she's going to call you back.
I love
Right.
it. And, all right, folks. Now
We call that direct connect.
you are hearing firsthand why you need to be at LSU Shreveport between 9 and noon, and you can pick either January the 14th or the 15th because you need to hear what Steve Beecham is sharing. And on top of that, you know, we have a good word in Louisiana. We call it lanyap. You're going to get the lanyap of Philip Dees. You're going to get the lanyap of Scott Tarkowski. 318-393-5219. That's how you reach Scott to get your tickets. Or you can go to the LSU website, lsu.edu, and special events, and you can sign up right there. But if you call Scott, you get a discount if you tell him you heard about it on Strategies for Living. Steve Beecham, our life strategist today. We'll be right back.
Prospect, prospect, prospect. How to thrive in 2025. Hey everyone, Scott Tarkowski here, and we are very excited to announce that Steve Beecham from Atlanta, Georgia, will be here to help you prospect, connect, and grow your sphere of influence. Steve is a speaker and trainer who shares his techniques for helping companies and individuals succeed in business through networking and leveraging their social connections. If this is something that interests you, January 14th and 15th, you don't want to miss. LSUS Ballroom, and that's at 1 University Place in Shreveport, Louisiana. Tickets are only $99. You can reach us at 318-393-5219 or simply show up the day of the event. If you have groups of 5 or more, tickets are only $82.50. We look forward to seeing you there.
You're going to see the difference. When you go to Azalea Cleaners, you'll hear about it too. Azalea Cleaners has been fine dry cleaning since 1958, plus laundry, alterations and repairs, comforters, wedding gown cleaning and restoration. You'll hear about it from your friends because they'll see it too. They'll notice the Azalea difference. Azalea is convenient. 732 Azalea Drive, 9220 Ellerby Road, and 9227 Mansfield Road. Plus, the front door of your home or business with Azalea's delivery on demand. Just text SETUP to 249-8283, and Azalea will pick up your clothes and deliver them back clean and fresh to you. You can't get closer than that. That's the Azalea difference. You'll notice it right away. Others will too. The Azalea difference. Fine dry cleaning since 1958. Text SETUP to 249-8283 and get the Azalea difference. AzaleaCleaners.com.
Hi, this is Jay Merle for Pintail Roofing. Let's talk about quality. When you hire Pintail to build your roof, here's what you can expect. Quality and quality control are the most important concerns for us at Pintail, and you need to know that Pintail stands tall with swift and professional performance on any warranty call. This is our most important policy. And remember, we're your neighbors. We'll be here for you for the long haul. Our family's lived here for over 100 years, and we aren't going anywhere. On the commercial side of Pintail's business, our fluid-applied roofing solutions can save thousands of dollars over conventional commercial roofing options. Call Pintail at 226-ROOF for a free inspection of your home or commercial building. That's 226-7663. Pintail Roofing. What's the condition of your roof?
And we're back. We're back with Strategies for Living here on 101.7 FM and 710 Keel. We are with Steve Beecham today. He's coming to town. How to Thrive in 25, coming up January the 14th and the 15th, LSU Shreveport. Go to the lsus.edu website under events, sign up there, or call our friend Scott Tarkowski, 318-393-5219. Tell him you heard about it here on Strategies for Living. Get a special discount. I hope you will do that. Steve, last word. You got about a minute or so. What do you want to leave us with? What's the last word?
We want to discover our life purpose. So at the end of the day, if you can figure out why you're here, and I think a lot of people ask themselves that question, what's my uniqueness? What do I bring to the conversation? You know, why am I here on this planet at this particular time and era and all that kind of stuff? And as you kind of figure that out and you kind of figure out what your purpose is, then you can kind of add a sentence to it. You know, I'm here to do so-and-so, and then so-and-so happens because of that. And then when you figure that out, what happens is it changes the lens which you view all of your interactions. So now I'm selling, I'm prospecting, I'm trying to grow my business through this purposeful lens. And it brings so much value to what you do. And it takes out a lot of fear. It takes out a lot of cold calling. It's like, I'm here to do this. And this is what I'm bringing to the people that I meet on a day-to-day basis.
I love it.
And it changes everything for you.
Let's learn to get
so
it.
So that's where
that's what you're going to, some of what you're going to be teaching.
Thank you.
On January the 14th and 15th. 393-5219. That's the number to call, or you can go to the LSU website, sign up. Steve Beecham, can't wait for you to be here. Thank you so much for being a great life strategist today here on Strategies for
Living.
Love it. We'll have you back soon.
Yes.
Folks, I hope you come back soon. We appreciate you. You're the reason we do this every day. And we can do it because of our wonderful sponsors, the Robinson Film Center, and Azalea Cleaners, and Learning RX, and Pintail Roofing, and the Balanced Life Wellness Center, and Fertitta's Delicatessen, home of the Godfather, Alligator Italian Sausage. If today were the last day of your life, you only had one more phone call to make, who is it that you'd call? And what would you say? And why are you waiting? Make the call. For Lauren Leon McMillan and for Steve Beecham, I'm David McMillan. See you next time right here on Strategies for Living.